Bend the knee. Valor Mogulis, everybody. This is Don Willie back again for another edition of Ice and Fire Opinions. And oh boy, I had to put on my thinking cap for this one. Literally got on the Cerebro X-Men hat. You already know how I deal with the caps and all that. Shout out to my man Jake Cruz in the building. Didn't even know there was anybody here this early. But yeah, as you can see on the screen, and shout out to TB, I'm going to be talking about the Crypts of Winterfell, one of the most prestigious and mysterious castles in all of the North. Shout out to Marilyn Bentley. Yeah. And first up, before I begin, let me apologize for the horrible audio from last week. I didn't realize that I forgot to reset some settings. So while I had my normal microphone sitting right here and I'm thinking I'm using it, apparently no, it was going through the computer microphone. And I was listening back earlier today. I'm like, oh my God, this is absolutely horrible. So I'm surprised I didn't get like 10 trillion thumbs down on that video. But that will require more people to watch. Anyway. So yeah, man. This one was suggested by Leslie Powell. Just the first that I'm doing that's not actually a character in the sense of a sentient living being. And I'm actually going to have the next two, as soon as I finish this one, I'm going to set up the next 2 weeks. I already got the characters mapped out. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the Crypts of Winterfell, they are an integral part of the Stark story. And it's weird because like we know some of the history about him, but what part they're gonna play later on in the story, we're still not sure yet. Shout out to Ricky Hunt, Hail Hydra. And also shout out to 007 Shadow Dragon. So this is one of those things where, we have a key element to the story that is still being fleshed out. Now, one of the crazy things about the Crypts of Winterfell is the fact that they are not known to everyone. There are only a few characters in the story that we know have first-hand knowledge of where they actually are. Those characters being basically anyone who is in the immediate Stark family, Theon Greyjoy, and that's pretty much about it. Nobody else that we know of knows where the Crypts of Winterfell are. Shout out to my man JD. So it's kind of crazy to think, like, all right, here you have this big fortified structure that's been in the North for the better part of 8,000 years, somewhere around there. And, obviously from, reading the books or whatever, we do know that there are different structures that have been built up over the centuries, over the millennia. And that is true. Well, hold on. I'm gonna get to Big and Little Walder in a minute, but this is one of those things where a lot of people just didn't. I don't know if they didn't bother to look or whatever, but somehow the entrance is not known to everybody. Now, one of the people in the chat, Milk K, just brought up, the whole thing about the Walders, Little and Big Walder. Now, for those of you who only watch the show, you already know that Walder Frey had a huge family, right? He had a bunch of children by a bunch of different women. He'd get married every time one wife would die. He'd just get married to another one and have more kids with her. So we are introduced to two of Walder's either grandchildren or great-grandchildren, that being Little Walder and Big Walder, even though it's basically by age, not by size, because the oldest one is shorter than the younger one. And so, yes, but the point is, Milk K just brought up the whole thing about the Walders knowing where the Crypts of Winterfell are. But remember, the reason why they knew about the Crypts of Winterfell and where they were is because of Rickon Stark. And even with Barbary Dustin, because I saw, let's see here. Ricky Hunt brought up Barbary Dustin. Yeah, she knew about it because of Theon. Theon is the one that took her to the Crypts of Winterfell. But, as far as we know, the Boltons haven't disturbed it in the time that they've been there. It doesn't seem like the Manderleys know about it, and this is not something, that it seems like it's common knowledge. Real quick with the roll call, shout out to Tony Umber, shout out to When Debo Breaks Down the Door, shout out to my man JD, shout out to Ricky Hunt, shout out to Marilyn Bentley, shout out to Milk K. If there's anyone I missed, please forgive me. Chat is going by and I don't get to see all of the names all of the time. So, hold on real quick. I gotta smoke out the camera every now and then. Just because. Yeah, but alright, so when it comes to the Crypts of Winterfell, in the show, we've seen it a couple of times. The first time we see the Crypts of Winterfell in the show is when Bran... No. I was about to skip over something. Shout out to Katie and Sutherland. So the first time we see the Crypts of Winterfell is when Robert comes and he wants to pay his respects to Lyanna, even though, he later on admits that he doesn't remember what she looked like. But, he goes down to the Crypts of Winterfell with Ned. They reminisce. And, that's where he asks Ned to become Hand of the King. The next time that we actually see the Crypts of Winterfell is when Bran and Hodor and Osha go downstairs, and Bran is like, "Hey, I had a dream about father dying. My dad is dead. I saw him in the crypts in my dream." They go down there, and Rickon is down there, and basically he had the same dream as Bran. So, that's pretty much what we get of that one. And then, let's see, when is the next time we actually see the crypts? I think the next time that we actually see the crypts in the show, not in the books. Shout out to Way Off Topic Radio. But yeah, I think the next time we get to see it in the show is when Sansa returns home with Peter Baelish, and she goes, sees the statue of Lyanna, and is basically recalling how, Rhaegar kidnapped and raped her, and then Littlefinger gives her that little look with smirk on his face, like, "Oh, you think that's what happened, huh?" And after that, the next time is when, let's see, next time after that is when we get kind of the reveal of Ned's statue. We see Jon there. Littlefinger comes and is taunting him, and Jon hems him up and is like, "If you ever touch my sister, I'll kill you." I know, horrible accent, all right? Been horrible with the accents lately, so I'm gonna try to lay off the accents as much as possible. Let's see, after that, it's when Arya returns and she says that the statue looks nothing like Ned. Honestly speaking, yeah, if I had never watched Game of Thrones before and I just saw that image coming, on screen, I'd be like, wow, okay, they got a statue of Boromir. I mean, not Boromir, Boromir. Like, yo, so I don't know. I guess that was supposed to be some kind of joke. That statue looked enough like Sean Bean for a statue, to me. Let's see what else. Okay, so there was a season 2 scene where Bran finds Rickon in the crypts with Shaggy Dog. I don't remember that one. Oh, there was one I skipped over. I skipped over when they hid in the crypts. When Ramsay burned down Winterfell after Theon took it over. I totally forgot about that one. But the last time we saw the crypts, basically that I can remember, and I could totally be wrong. Shit. Last time I recall was when Arya got back and was like, "Hey, yeah, they should have got somebody who knew him better to sculpt the statue or whatever." No, I could be wrong about that one. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I am totally wrong. Shout out to Jay Cruz. Damn, how did I forget Jay Cruz? You were actually the first one here today. My bad, man. It's been a long week. But all right, so in the books, again, we get a lot more. We get Barbary Dustin, who seems to be super angry that she is not a Stark. She asked Theon to take her to the Crypts of Winterfell. She's looking for Ned Stark's bones, and when she finds out that Ned Stark's bones are not in the crypts, she is dead set on, like, as soon as I find out where they are, I'm making sure they never ever rest in these damn crypts. Never. Shout out to Sir LT Giles. I don't know what I'm totally wrong about, Frank, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. You wanna know why? Because I got on Cerebro. Right? And as long as I have on Cerebro, I'm never wrong. Shout out to Kat. So there have been speculations, and the biggest speculation that I've seen is from Tony Teflon, and that is that Rhaegar's things are in the Crypts of Winterfell, and that Jon is going to find them at some point, and it's going to be like his armor, his harp. It's going to be inside of Lyanna's tomb. I believe that's Tony Teflon's theory. If not, it's somewhere around there. I know definitely the harp. Maybe not Rhaegar's armor, but I know definitely the harp. Now, yeah, so go and check out Tony Teflon's channel if you have not done that. He's the first person that I remember doing any videos on the Crypts of Winterfell from like years ago. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where who knows how long it'll be before we get any resolution to that. Yeah, man. Oh, shout out to Sir LT Giles if I didn't already shout him out. Like I said, been a long week. My memory is shot at this point. So, the Crypts of Winterfell, they talk about how, like, there are many levels below that they go. And you're talking about 8,000 years worth of Stark Kings. Now, for whatever reason, the only people who are supposed to be buried in the crypts are either Kings of Winter or the, Warden of the North, Lord of Winterfell Starks. But Ned broke tradition with that because not only did he bury his father, or was left to his father, in the Crypts of Winterfell, he also buried his brother Brandon and his sister Lyanna. Now, Brandon technically should have been Lord of Winterfell, but he never got, named Lord of Winterfell. And Lyanna couldn't be Lord of Winterfell. She might have been Lady of Winterfell, but, no, she was too young. And also, I don't know that there are any other women buried down there. So Ned broke tradition, and this is what has led people to speculate that there is something about Lyanna's tomb that is special, and especially, because even though in the show it has 100% confirmed, in the books it's not 100% confirmed that Lyanna is Jon's mother. And yes, I already know R plus L equals J, how dare you say anything against it, blah blah blah. Listen, until it's there on the page, it is not 100% confirmed. Okay, we could get all kinds of curveballs. We have absolutely no idea yet. So let's leave speculation where it is for right now. And shout out to Sam, and let's see, LT is asking what flavor am I vaping on this time? This one is called Comb the Desert, and if you happen to know your movie trivia from back in the days, and you will absolutely know where that comes from. So, and yeah, so Ricky Hunt just brought up another theory about there possibly being dragon eggs in the Crypts of Winterfell. Now I'm not sure where that theory originated, but I have heard that one before, probably in passing. I might have seen it in a video or something. Don't remember. Be honest with you, I do not remember. The only theory that I remember 100% where it came from was the whole thing about Rhaegar's harp being in the Crypts of Winterfell, and that's from Tony Teflon. And so apparently, okay, so Mushroom. So for those of you who do not know, Mushroom was a character from World of Ice and Fire history, who was around, I believe, during the time of the Dance of the Dragons, Targaryen civil war that almost basically not only brought the house to ruin, but basically got rid of most of all of the dragons. And Mushroom has all of these kind of weird comments. Like he was kind of the Tyrion of his day, but less hated and also less respected. So it was kind of like if you mix Tyrion with Patchface, you would get Mushroom. Yeah, that's about the best way I could put it. Tyrion plus Patchface equals Mushroom. So yeah, that's one of those things where shout out to Jay on Calrissian. Um, so you have many speculations as to what could possibly be there. And because of the fact that we get so many dreams from John about him being in the crypts, and it's like, oh, this is not my place, I'm not supposed to be here. It's interesting to think, like, what is there for him to find? Uh will that be the place where he gets the confirmation about his birth? Will Rhaegar's harp, or possibly Rhaegar's armor? See, the only reason why I wouldn't think Rhaegar's armor would be there, though, is because, look, you got to figure, right? So Robert Baratheon had super heavy, his own version of Mjolnir, basically, because they were like, hey, the hammer was so heavy, you know, most people had problems lifting it with two hands. Robert lifted it with one, which means, think about it. That sounds almost like Mjolnir and Thor, because it almost sounds like a magical enchantment, like, because if you're talking about a man lifting a hammer with one hand while other people had issues lifting it with two, and yet he was able to swing that hammer easily, there could have possibly been some magical enchantment on that hammer that allowed Robert to use it, and I think, look, with the way that George has been writing this story, there are so many parallels to mythical figures and historic figures that I wouldn't be surprised if there was some magical enchantment, because think about it. Robert, as far as we know, it's not said that Robert is super strong, or that he was super strong compared to just any mortal man. It's like, yes, he was stronger than most. He was, maybe more ferocious in battle than most. But it's not said like, hey, Robert could take the hits that nobody else could. Robert could do all these fly things that nobody else could. No, but it is said, hey, by Ned, I had problems lifting that hammer with two hands, and Robert was swinging it with one like it was nothing. So I don't think that it was just strength. They may have been some kind of magical enchantment on that hammer. I would love to find out if that was true. That would, you know what? I'm gonna have to save that question in my memory bank, and whenever I see George, because I'm going to find a way to ask that man some damn questions. He will answer my goddamn questions, and I'm gonna ask him, was there a magical enchantment on Robert's hammer? In fact, I should make a video about that. I really should, right? Um. So anyway, getting back to the Crypts of Winterfell thing. So just the fact that you, with Rhaegar's armor, I don't think it would be down there because Robert supposedly caved his chest in and knocked the damn rubies off. So he swung the hammer, boom, knocked the rubies off of his chest plate into the damn trident. People stopped fighting to go look for the rubies and killed the man with that one blow. They didn't say he hit him with the, because if you look at a lot of historical, like, actual warhammers, for one, those things aren't huge, and two, they normally have a spike on the end of them, and it didn't say anything about him hitting him with the spike. They just said he hit him with the face of the hammer in the chest. And so you got to figure, if he hit him with the face of that hammer in the chest, I mean, there's a big hole sitting there, that you could put Iron Man's arc reactor into, probably. And I don't, that armor ain't gonna be any good after that. Like, who you gonna get to reforge the armor? Donald Noy's dead. I don't think Micken is still around. I think they probably killed off Micken when Ramsay took over at Winterfell. So yeah, um What? But last Harpy just made a video about Robert being enchanted or something like that, or Robert's hammer being enchanted. Yeah, that'd be, oh man, that'd be so crazy if like I'm sitting here thinking about this shit right now, and somebody already made that goddamn video. I don't know, man. Listen, I don't like, yo. There's only a few people I watch that make Game of Thrones videos. So yeah, that would be yeah, that'd be crazy if that was true. I hope that's not true, Frank. You better not be trolling me, goddammit. Oh, is Ion Throne here? I didn't even see Ion. What's happening to Ion Throne? So yeah. Um I'm trying to think, is there anything more that I can possibly say on the Crypts? Because I'll be honest with you, like when this particular topic was brought up, like Leslie Powell asked me, hey, can you do either something on the Crypts of Winterfell or the God's Eye? And I'm like, shit. Well, the God's Eye isn't. I don't even know if the God's Eye has ever even been mentioned in the show at all. Um, yeah, I don't even know if God's Eye has been mentioned in the show at all. It may have been mentioned once, um, but yeah, like that's something that's a deep dive into the books, you know. Um, but damn. And see, this is where I don't want to get off, just deep into the woods with nonsense. So give me a second to gather my thoughts real quick. All right, so yeah, look, this is one of those things where you have something that is bound to play a significant role in the books, at least, that a lot of speculation surrounds, and it's kind of like, all right, well, why is it important, um and there's so many things that we ask, why, isn't it important? And Ricky, now I'm not doing the God's Eye too. This is all about Crypts of Winterfell. I really got to read up more on the God's Eye to do that video. So I'll do that, down the line, maybe as a bonus at some point. I mean, um, yeah. So I don't know. You know what? I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the Crypts of Winterfell. I'm gonna turn it over for questions. I mean, and even if you got questions on anything else, let me know. If you got comments that you want me to read off or whatever, put them down in the chat. And in fact, let me just go and talk to the folks in here right now. And why do you keep doing this to me, you bastards? Question time. Anytime. Yeah, I'm not making this a super long show this time around. I literally, I do have work that needs to be done, by tonight. I know I say that like every Thursday, but like tonight, like I seriously, yeah, I can't stick around for the 2 hours like I normally do. Yeah, shout out to JD. My man JD is writing his own novel series right now. I need to check out like the last like 3 videos. Yeah, I'm behind in the last 3 videos, man. It's I said work has been just outrageous. All right, so first question we got here from Marilyn Bentley. What do you think we will find in the Crypts of Winterfell? All right, so here's a crazy thing, right? So when it comes to this whole thing of what will we find, I mean, we already know what's there, and we know some things that are missing, right? So we know that all the ancient kings of winter are down there, and the lords after Aegon's conquest. Apparently, some of the swords have kind of turned into dust from that many years, and it's said that the swords are what keep the Starks or keep the spirits from coming back. Now, what is it that we'll find down there? There's something obviously related to Jon, because he's the one that keeps on having recurring recurring dreams about the Crypts of Winterfell. So obviously something related to him is going to be there. We could find ancient text down there. Now that would be the crazy thing. If we found some ancient text that described how the White Walkers were defeated, or maybe how Bran the Builder built some of his most famous structures. Because hey, remember, Bran the Builder was the first Stark king, so he should have a tomb down there, and possibly maybe in the tombs might be some ancient artifacts of his. But that is speculation. Okay, let's see. Next up from my man JD. Do the Crypts of Winterfell have tunnels beyond the wall? Yo, that would be crazy. Imagine if, because, all right, so supposedly we're supposed to get a perspective in the lands of always winter. Imagine how crazy that would be if the tunnels, forget about the lands of always winter. Bran is in the cave beyond the wall. Talks about there being crazy tunnel system. They don't know where the tunnels go. Imagine if those tunnels led back to Winterfell. And now imagine if the whole hold the door thing is the Children of the Forest are taking Bran back to Winterfell, and Hodor has to hold the door to a tunnel, in order to stop the White Walkers from getting to Winterfell. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely outrageous. All right, next up from Jayon Calrissian. Is there an ice dragon in the crypts? If there is, if the damn ice dragon wakes up, Winterfell is totally destroyed, because I couldn't imagine that the ice dragon would be able to get from beneath the Crypts of Winterfell without destroying the entire castle that is on top. So, who knows? But I would hope not. That would be sad. That would be absolutely, that would be super sad. So from Sam Eat Sam, do you think we'll get a Lord of the Rings type ghost army from the Winterfell Crypts? You mean like the Battle of Helm's Deep? I was thinking that, a while ago, like, oh, that, like, especially since they talk about the spirits being held by the swords, but so many of the swords are gone now. So that means the spirit should be able to roam free. But now, I don't think George would do that, because, like, look, I know he pays homage to a lot of different sources, But I think that would be something that would be way too blatant. And people would definitely call him out on that and be like, "Oh, come on, man. We know that you like J.R.R. Tolkien, but how you just gonna jack his, such a major plot point like that?" So now I don't think we're gonna get spirits like that. All right, so next up from Ricky Hunt, and shout out to Tyrion Jr. Lance Stark in the building. Um, do you think Winterfell was built on a volcano? The Maesters say that the hot spring was heated by the furnace of the world, which is also caused by the 14 flames in Valyria. Um, man, so I don't know if it was built over a volcano because I mean, look, here's the thing: like Winterfell, Winterfell, as far as we know, wasn't necessarily built on a hill or in a valley. It seemed like it was kind of on a on a flat plain, or like even if you look at the picture on screen, like yeah, it's sitting kind of on a hilly area, but not something that seems mountainous. Um, so now I think it's just one of those magical things. I don't think it was sitting on any. I don't think it's sitting on a volcano because I mean that would be kind of crazy. It's like in the middle of this very uh very cold climate is the one place that has a volcano, but that would be interesting if there was a semi-active volcano there just waiting to erupt. But I mean, damn, that would basically destroy a lot of the north, I would imagine. Winterfell would definitely be gone, but yeah, that would destroy a lot of the north, I would imagine, though. But yeah, I don't know about volcano. I don't know about volcano. All right, so from LT Giles, Willie, do you think? Uh, let's see. You think the news that season 8 will be in 19 means we'll get the Winds of Winter before that? Um, man, I don't think that when a TV show is being produced has anything to do with how fast or slow George is writing. George is taking his own time, and I just think that we gotta kind of call look at it for what it is. Supposedly all each episode of season 8 is supposed to be 90 minutes to 2 hours. So I just think it's just that it's just taking longer. I don't think it has anything to do with the release date for the books at all. So although I would love to believe that it would be a treat. It would give us it would be something to hold us over until that time. But that's at this particular point, man. I don't want to get my hopes up, so I'm not even going to speculate on that. All right, so next from when Debo breaks down a door. Theoretically, if you could come back for the Iron Throne. Wait, what? Let's see if you could come. I think you mean if I could bring back anyone for the Iron Throne, who would it be? Um, man. Let's see here. Who would I bring back? I mean, to take over? Uh, Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with Ricky Hunt. What he said, Damon Blackfire, man. Damon Blackfire deserved to be the king. He deserved to be the king. He was the greatest knight the Seven Kingdoms ever seen. You know, his father gave him the sword. He should have been king. Damon Blackfire for king. But if it's a show, if it's the show, if it's the show, yeah, no. Oh man, all right. Oh man, AU Pac Mule is here. Shout out to AU Pac Mule. It's my guy right there. Always back to pack. All right. Let's see. Next up from Ricky Hunt. Are gargoyles used to bind dragons or for a magic purpose? Gargoyles were found near the Crypts of Winterfell, and Bran notes that they are broken afterwards. We get the dragon rising from afterwards. We get the dragon rising from Winterfell. It's funny because a lot of people seem to have skipped over that whole thing about Bran seeing a dragon while he's warged into summer. And it's funny though because that's just never brought up again. That is that happens. George, lays it out. He describes it as, in as simple terms as possible to kind of throw you off the scent because he's putting it in, I guess, language that's supposed to be from a wolf canine perspective. But it's like, come on, it's a fucking dragon. And it's just never mentioned again. And so now, it's like, could the gargoyles be used? I mean, nah, I don't think the gargoyles mean anything. I think the gargoyles are a red herring. I think it's just, they're just gargoyles. I don't think it necessarily means anything. You know. All right, so from when Debo breaks down the door, is like let's see. So he's asking if there's anybody currently from the, I guess, from the current story that I would bring back. Um, anyone from the current story bring back for the Iron Throne? Um, no, there's nobody. Honestly speaking, there's nobody from the current story who really deserves to be fucking king or queen. Serious, honestly speaking, if we really, really want to be 100% honest with the whole thing, nobody who is vying for the throne right now, or in these 5 books, truly deserve to be king. You know, like I know some people might say, like, if you were gonna bring back somebody, maybe Robb Stark. But Robb wasn't ready at all. Robb wasn't ready for that kind of. He wasn't ready for that kind of responsibility. So nah. Nah. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. From way up top of the radio, how deep do the crypts go before it's all caved in? And do you really believe they are caved in? Um. Hmm. I mean, See, here's the thing. Now, I would doubt. I would doubt that any of them are caved in because you got to figure, unless we heard something about an earthquake, that's the only way I could see any of them being caved in because, from what we know about like real life crypts, they're built, usually out of like very hard limestone, and they built, limestone or bedrock or whatever place. And crypts are normally only built in places where there isn't a significant amount of seismic activity. So yeah, I couldn't see there being a cave in unless there was some kind of, either it would have to be a flood and it naturally eroded because of the flood, or it would have to be an earthquake. But as far as we know, we haven't heard of any earthquakes. We haven't heard of any major floods. So yeah, I doubt it's caved in at all. Again, that might have been something that was told to a particular generation so that nobody would go and disturb the lower levels, because maybe there's something down there that remains to be seen, that people are going to find out later. All right, so let's see. Next up, from Marilyn Bentley. Name at least one character in the show you want to die who hasn't yet, and one character in the books as well. Could be the same person. One character in the show that I want to die. One character in the show that I want to die that has not died yet. That's a tough one because most of the people that annoyed the hell out of me are gone already. Man. I mean, like, they killed off the sand snakes. Yeah, they killed off the sand snakes. You know what, Arya? Yeah, they butchered Arya so badly that I don't think she needs to be around anymore. Arya can go. For the show anyway. For the books, who would I say for the books that isn't dead? See, I would have said Sansa before, but I think Sansa has a lot of growing to do, and there's still a lot that she needs to learn as far as humility is concerned. And I think she's going to learn that in a bunch of those Elaine chapters. But who in the books that's not dead? I almost want to say Tyrion, because I'll be honest with you, Tyrion, when it comes to a Dance with Dragons, oh my god, Tyrion is practically unbearable in a Dance with Dragons. He is like, I understand he's been through a lot. He's been through a hell of a lot. I mean, the dude basically lost his whole nose. His face is all scarred up. His family's been trying to kill him. He's been enslaved. He's a sellsword now. He might have almost slept with his daughter. I mean, it's crazy to think, but oh man, it's. But I mean, like, the dude has become so much of a dick. You know what? For the books, I'll say Melisandre, because she she's led Stannis on what will ultimately be a fruitless quest for him, and I personally think that she is going to be the death of Shireen. People think that it's going to be Stannis. I think that Melisandre is going to believe the pink letter that Stannis is dead, and she's going to convince Selyse to burn Shireen in order to bring back Stannis. And we're going to find out that Stannis never died, but that'll be the way that Jon is resurrected. Yeah, so Melisandre for the books. And fuck it, maybe even Melisandre for the show, you know. But Arya, see, they wrote Arya so bad in season 7 that I forgot about Melisandre and how bad Melisandre was. Oh, oh man. All right, let's see here. I know I'm kind of behind as far as the questions are concerned. All right, so next up from my man Tony Umber. Do you think it's possible that any of the Starks and the Crypts of Winterfell would join the Night's Watch army when the White Walkers run through Winterfell? I mean, listen, I could see them resurrecting. Look, I can see them resurrecting the skeletons or whatever's left of the Starks or whatever. Um, like I said, I just hope they don't do the Ghost Army Helm's Deep thing, Battle of Helm's Deep, because that would be a little bit too far. It's already going to be crazy enough if they bring back like all of the dead Starks from the past 8,000 years. Like, oh yes, we are the ancient Stark kings and lords of Winterfell and all. That's already going to be crazy. So if they wind up, unless Bran just super wargs, because if the White Walkers are just warging the Whites, if Bran can super warg the entirety of the Northern Lords from Winterfell, like imagine how crazy that would be. Like we read a passage where it's like Bran became 8,000 years worth of Starks at one time. You know, like that would be ridiculous. But it would be a sight to see. We're probably not actually going to see it, but to read it, that would be awesome, though. But see, would they join? See, what I don't know if they would join the Night's Watch, but they would definitely fend off, help to fend off stuff at Winterfell, though. All right. Next up from When Debo Breaks Down the Door. Do you think there are dragon eggs in the remains of Old Valyria and they weren't discovered because of stone men? It is very possible. I would imagine the dragon eggs will probably survive the destruction of Valyria. Dragons are fire made flesh, so I couldn't see them being necessarily destroyed in the ruins of Valyria. But the whole thing with the stone men. Yeah, I mean, look, you got the stone men there. You got the whole deal with the sorrows, and just like no one's ever returned from there. So yeah, I could definitely see it being a thing where people have like where there are dragon eggs and no one knows about it because they just like, nah, I'm not going there. But the one person who may have went there, got a dragon egg and came out, you're on. We don't know where he supposedly got his dragon egg from. Wait, no, didn't he say he got his dragon egg from Valyria? Like, that was supposed to be part of the proof. He was like, hey, I got a dragon egg. Oh, no, I threw it in the sea, even though we think he paid the Faceless Man to kill off his brother, Balon with that. But, yeah, that would be kind of crazy, though. But, yeah, I can imagine there would probably still be dragon eggs there. All right, so from Ricky Hunt, was Garth the Green Hand somehow related to the green men on the God's Isle? Some say Garth had green skin and antlers, and the green men have green skin and horns. Old Dan says they have antlers. I mean, it makes sense, you know. And I mean, remember, and we think about Garth the Green Hand, and he, like everywhere he went, the land was fertile and all that stuff, and he was the one that basically made the Reach what it is. Um, you know, and you got the whole thing was the order. I mean, yes, there is the not the YouTube channel, but you have the Order of the Green Men, I believe. It's not the I don't think it's the Order of the Green Hand. I believe it's the Order of the Green Men. Uh or it could be the Order of the Green Hand. Maybe that's where they got their channel name from, but I think it's the Order of the Green Men. Um which is weird because it almost sounds like something out of like some Martian tale. Next up on Fright Night Theater, the Order of the Green Men from Mars. You know, so that would be pretty interesting. I mean, look, there's so much. Damn it, see, and this is part of the reason why, like, George sometimes pisses me off with this story because he gives so much back history. Because, like, this isn't like the Silmarillion. The stuff from the Silmarillion is not legend. The stuff from the Silmarillion is like, all right, this is the shit that happened. You know, if it's written down in Silmarillion, it's the shit that really happened. This is how you know Middle Earth was created. These are the all 3 or 5 ages or whatever. And this is the shit that happened. Whereas we're sitting here trying to rack our brains, trying to figure out was Garth the Green Hand an actual guy? You know, is he really the reason why the Reach is so damn fertile? What is the Order of the Green Hand, the Green Men, the God's Eye, this, that, and you know, yeah, man, and that's the one thing that kind of pisses me off is that not only is it all legend shit, but it's shit that if you ask George, he's basically said, I'm not gonna give you a straight answer on that one. I wrote it down, it is what it is. You know, whether it's real or not, who cares? And it's kinda like we care. You bastard. Oh man. Yeah, so I hope I gave you, an adequate answer to that question. Ah, God. All right. All right. So next up, also from Ricky Hunt, when John asks Egret how far do the caves go, and she says no one knows. Could they be connected to the crypts? I mean, and see, this is what I like. What I was talking about earlier when the other question that JD asked me, about there like being tunnels beyond the walls. It could be. Oh, shout out to JD. You know, holla at you this weekend, man. Still got to finish Punisher. Oh man, and shout out to DJ. So JD left, DJ comes in. That's crazy. And shout out to Lord Dom Snow. So and let me just go back to the question. So yeah, the whole thing with see, and this is the crazy thing, right? So as much as sometimes I hate getting into any tinfoil stuff from Preston Jacobs, because Preston Jacobs is the king of tinfoil. Let make no mistake about it. 20 25 feet worth of tinfoil is what he's got all the time. But one thing I heard him speculate is that at one point Westeros was an underground society, and that all of the damn caves link up together. And all the tunnels and all that stuff link together. And I'm like, man, now that you guys are bringing up these questions about the Crypts of Winterfell, and I thought about the cave with Bran, and now with the question that Ricky just asked with the caves, and like Ygritte saying she doesn't know how far the caves go or whatever. I'm like, man, that, like, damn it, I would hate for him to be right about that shit. Not that I would hate for him to be right, because I just want him to be wrong, but it's like, man, that shit sounds so fucking crazy that I just, like, I'm like, I, it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, come on, are you serious? This was a damn underground society, and then, like, years later they just came and started building all this shit above ground. Because Preston's whole thing, I believe, is that there was like a nuclear winter or something like that, and that's what drove everybody underground, and that's why it's all these caves, because people lived underground to avoid this nuclear holocaust that went on. And I'm just like, no, I'm gonna say no to that. So yeah, man, like I would hate for that to actually be true, where you find out that, like, there's this vast network cave system, and people actually, like, yo, if they go into one of those damn caves, and there's because, all right, you look at the Reigns of Castamere, right? The Reigns of Castamere, that whole the Castamere itself was a subterranean castle, and how Tywin Lannister bumped off the Reigns was basically he flooded the castle, and it was easy because he just diverted two sides of like a river or a stream or something like that, and it was subterranean, so there was nowhere for the people to go. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, that kind of almost lends credence to this dude's theory. And man, I like, not the nuclear winter part, obviously, but the whole thing about people, having some kind of underground society. So I'm like, yo, if there's some crazy massive castle, 100 or like 1,000 feet below all these damn caves, I would be so fucking pissed. Oh, I would. Oh, man, listen, I would probably stop reading if we came, we found out like there's some massive network of underground castles, you know, connected to all these damn caves, man. Oh my god, that would make me so pissed off. Yeah, oh my god. Alright, so we got any other questions, man? Damn it, Ricky. Making me think about that crazy shit, man. And it's funny, I got like I haven't rocked the tinfoil hat in a while. It's still it's still it's sitting around somewhere. You see it? Yeah, I'm tripping. I need to stop buying so many damn hats, man. This is getting out of control. Like, this is getting beyond out of control with all these hats. I just got this one today and another one. Hold on, let me show you the other hat I got today. Are these all DC ones? These are all DC ones. Yeah, these are all the DC ones here. I got this Marvel one. I know this is the part where it starts to get silly. Hold on. I don't want to hit. Oops. All right, so we're gonna take a couple of minutes while people might be thinking about some hats. I mean, think about some questions to talk about hats. So I got this one here, Cyborg from the Justice League movie. I just got this in the mail today. It's funny because I have not even seen Justice League, and yeah, apparently, yeah, hats are the new Funkos. Hold on, take off the sticker. I don't need a damn sticker on the hat, but yeah, so boom. You see, it says Cyborg there. So these are some of my DC hats. I got a bunch of Marvel hats too. Wonder Woman. This is from the Wonder Woman film. I would have got the Justice League one too, but I'm like, it was literally the same hat, and the only difference was like this one got the Wonder Woman logo, and the other one would have had the Justice League logo like this. So that was literally the only difference. I'm not gonna buy two of the exact same hat that just got different logos on them. And we got Deadshot from Suicide Squad. Right. Which, yeah, I know the movie was the worst, but yeah, fuck it. You know, the hat still looks dope. We got Flash from Justice League, right? Pretty dope hat here. And it's funny because the site where I normally get the hats from, they had a Flash hat, I believe, from the show, but it wasn't all that good. It was kind of plain. So I wound up getting the Professor Zoom one, and if you seen before, you might have seen the Professor Zoom hat. All right, and then we got the Batman armor from Justice League, right? Which is different from the. I got the two that came from the two hats from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. One is my tinfoil hat, you know, which I haven't done any tinfoil stuff in a while. So you know what? Maybe my Robert's Enchanted Hammer. Oh, yo, yes, that's what I will name it. Robert's Enchanted Hammer. That will be a tinfoil theory. All right, we got another question here from Ricky Hunt. Do you think that the end of the story will be at the God's Eye? I mean, well, think about it, right? So you have the legend or the theory inside of the actual books, right? That the whole world of Ice and Fire takes place inside of blue-eyed giant, inside of the eye of a blue-eyed giant named Macumba. So it would be interesting if at the end of it there was if at the end of it we find out that the last place that the story at the end of the story ends at the God's Eye, and that they do live inside of a giant, you know, the blue-eyed giant named Macumba. That would be interesting and just weird and all kinds of wrong. But you know what? When I do my video on the God's Eye, I'm gonna take a deep dive into that one and see whether or not I think it's possible that that's what will happen with the God's Eye in terms of that whole thing. Because right now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I really don't know. All right, let's see here. From When Debo Breaks Down the Door. What if Bran wargs into the Ice Dragon? Well, you know, that would be interesting on a couple of levels. So first off, Bran is fighting against the White Walkers. So for him to warg an ice dragon, we'd have to ask, to what end? Because if you're going to warg an ice dragon, then the question remains after that is, does warging an ice dragon, like if he's breathing cold breath or whatever, how would he fight against the White Walkers in that particular instance? So that's the one thing. You know, it would be cool if he could do it, but you know, again, it's how would it? I don't know. How would it? I don't know. How would it? How would it? Pan out? How would it pan out in terms of him being able to fight against the White Walkers? That's my whole thing. But it, you know, it might be nice to do that. You know, to see that. All right. So next up for Ricky Hunt, do you think only certain Targs can ride dragons? Adam Valerian tamed Sea Smoke, yet his brother was almost killed by Sheep Stealer. I mean, it might be possible, you know. And then and then think about it, man. There's still all these damn speculations about who is actually a Targaryen and who's not. You know, there's the whole thing with what is it, the Strongs and all that. So who knows? That might, yeah, he might not have been a real Targaryen. Who knows? Let's see here. All right, can somebody do me a favor? Who, you know what? I'll get him out of here, my damn self, man. You don't come up in my chat room talking this nonsense, man. You get removed. No, in fact, first I'm reporting you. And if you come back in here again with that trolling shit, yeah, man, I hate trolls. Don't you ever come into my goddamn chat room with that troll shit again. You bastard, you. Mm-mm. And you talking about you giving away iPhone 8s? Fuck is wrong with you, man? You know, iPhone 10s out here, you bitch. Anyway. Let's see here. Alright, so next up for Ricky Hunt. Let's see. Do you think George is the blue-eyed giant and all the planetos is inside his head? He has brown eyes, though. I mean, I was just about to say, like, right before I read right before I read the last joint, I was like, wait, gotta look up George's eye color. Nah, again, that's one of those things where, you know, like I said, it's one of those things that George does with this series that really pisses me off. That really is like, yo, dude, will you make some definitive shit and don't just make it all legend? Like, even when you read Norse mythology, it's like, yes, we know it is Norse mythology, but inside the actual Norse mythology, all of that shit actually happened. It's not just, this is the legend of some shit that might have happened. So I wouldn't have an issue with it if it wasn't that every time we see something, we have to question whether or not it was supposed to be real. So if I ever decide to write my own series, I'm gonna have it be definitive. I will say, like, okay, this stuff is legend and we'll never know. this stuff is actually real. And I'm gonna give definitive answers on stuff because the whole thing where it's like, oh, maybe real, might not be real. That that is the one thing that really pisses me off about this series. You know, like with the whole thing with the Age of Heroes. You know, was Land the Clever an actual guy? Who knows? You know, that kind of shit. That's all I'm saying. All right, next up from Wendy will race down the door and shout out to Sonny Frank who just came in. Um, what will A Dream of Spring contain plot wise, and do you think that won't be resolved in Winds of Winter? Um, what do I think it will contain plot wise? Um, Daenerys actually coming to Westeros. I think that's something that won't happen until A Dream of Spring. The final battle against the White Walkers. Um, yeah, I think the battle against the White Walkers. Uh, the Jamie Cersei thing, like whether or not Jamie is totally done with her. Um, Mountain and the Hound. I don't think that will be resolved until the Winds of Winter. And shit, we may not even get the whole thing with the reveal of the Hound Gravedigger thing until A Dream of Spring. Jon Snow's parentage. I think the Winds of Winter is going to be about the resurrection of Jon Snow and him accepting his place as the resurrected Messiah figure or whatever. And then A Dream of Spring will be the kind of thing with the reckoning of, okay, I'm a Targaryen, I'm supposed to be king, but really, should I be king, etc., etc. So I think that'll be what gets um resolved, or something that'll be left over from the Winds of Winter is like Jon's parent, like Jon finding out his parentage, and then the eventual fallout from there. Something else that I think will be left over from the Winds of Winter. I think Arya will come back to Westeros in the Dream of Spring. I think in the Winds of Winter she'll still be in Essos doing something. Now, so Ricky, no, I think we're gonna find out. We are going to find out the definite answer about Jon's parentage in the Winds of Winter. I don't think Jon is going to find out until A Dream of Spring. So it'll be something where, you know, Bran finds out. Yeah, Bran finds out the truth, but for whatever reason, he's not able to get in contact with Jon. So Jon doesn't find out until later on. And another thing I think we won't find out until A Dream of Spring is the full plot of what the Faceless Men are doing in Westeros. We'll find out part of it in a dream in the Winds of Winter, but I think we won't find out the full extent of what it is that they are planning until A Dream of Spring. And I think we will find out in A Dream of Spring the full origins of the White Walkers, like the full scope of the White Walkers and their culture. You know, oh, and how they made the deal with Craster. I think we'll find that out in A Dream of Spring. I don't think we're gonna find out in the Winds of Winter. I think we're gonna find that out in A Dream of Spring. All right. All right, so next up, oh, shout out to Septa Shayna's Sapphires. So next up for Ricky Hunt, do you believe that Rhaegar's harp is in the crypts, and where are Ned's bones? Damn. Well, here's the thing, right? So with the whole Rhaegar's harp thing, one question is how big was the harp? Right? And I would imagine that Rhaegar's harp would look pretty unique. So like if Ned is bringing that harp back, right? He brings it back to Winterfell, puts it in the crypts. Excuse me. Sorry about that. How does Ned Stark get the harp back to Winterfell without anyone noticing? Because I'm pretty sure Rhaegar's harp would have been unique enough that if somebody else would have seen it, they would have been like, holy shit, that's Rhaegar's harp. You know, how do you know? We know that Rhaegar played the harp, and that's got a bunch of Targaryen symbolism on it. Do the math. So, it could be there, but yeah, the question is how big is the harp? And B, how was he able to transport it without anyone else seeing it? You know, so. And as far as Ned's bones, Howland Reed's got him. I'm gonna go with Howland Reed's got him. He stopped the Silent Sisters on the way back, like in the neck somehow, and Howland Reed's got him. Okay, next up from AU Pack Meal. Finally, a question from the pack. Let's see here. Why do you think the oldest Stark is at the lowest level of the Crypts of Winterfell versus the other way around? I mean, it seems it. I mean, from the way that it's kind of explained in the books, it kind of seemed to me as if the oldest Starks would have been in the lower levels. But I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. I mean, like, yeah, logistically, it probably would make more sense that the oldest Starks would be at the higher levels, because it's like, okay, we built the crypt, we got the first crypts or whatever. All right, cool, we put them here. And then as more Starks build up, they dig further down. But again, it depends on, was there like already some kind of natural cave system there? Have no idea, but that is a very good question. All right, so from when Debo breaks down the door, says, put on your tinfoil hat real quick. What if Cold Hands is the Night's King? So, brings up something very, very interesting. Years ago, like literally the third video I ever did, maybe 3 years ago, was Who is Cold Hands? And I had speculated Cold Hands wasn't the Night's King himself, but actually the son of the Night's King. And like the only reason why I didn't think that Cold Hands himself was the Night's King is because the Night's King is described as being like a regular human being. And I do remember George saying that the Night's King wouldn't have survived any longer than like any other man from like thousands of years ago. But I'm like, but if the White Walkers are immortal, then imagine you have a White Walker human hybrid who gets killed but comes back as like only a partial white somehow. So I don't know. Yeah, so I honestly don't know. I think Bran, like now that like when I thought about it later on, though, I was like, okay. Personally, I think that Cold Hands was like some random dude from the Night's Watch, and that Bran went in time. This is part of the Bran time traveler theory. That Bran went back in time and warred Cold Hands because maybe this isn't Bran's first time trying to make it to the tree. I mean, because like you say, the past is already written and all that other stuff, right? So Bran knows that he needs to get to the tree. Bran needs to protect himself so that he gets to the tree. Bran reanimates a dead member of the Night's Watch. Doesn't even have a name. Doesn't even know his name. It's just, he's some dude. It's like, hey, I need you to make sure that I get back to here later. So do me a favor and go carry out these missions for me. So yeah, when you get the chance, go through my theory videos and you'll see my branded time traveler video, and I address my personal beliefs on who Cold Hands is and how he exists. All right, I'll take a couple more questions and I'm out of here because guys almost trying to rope me into this whole 2-hour thing. I'm not doing it tonight because I really got work to do. I'm over here looking at this damn paperwork right now, and I need to get this shit done. All right, so next up for Ricky Hunt, do you think Bran is the third head of the dragon? Bran could represent ice and Stark, Dany, fire and Targaryen, Jon. All of that seems to balance everything. Bran is the third head. I'm gonna say nah. Do I have any particular reasons for it? Not 100%, but I just nah. I wish I had a better answer for you, but nah. That's all I got. Nah. Sorry. Something about it just does not compute. Okay, next up, also from Ricky Hunt. Do you think Benjamin will be the one to reveal the motives of the White Walkers? He obviously is in Cold Hands. but could be in the far north with the others. See, well, here's the thing, right? So why? Because all right, we already know that the rest of his ranging party was dead, right? Two of the guys came back, turned into whites, and tried to kill Commander Warmine, and one of them actually killed one of the members of Night's Watch before being killed and, re-killed as a white. In fact, I think he killed two members of the Night's Watch before that. Point is, like, yeah, we know that he's not cold hands, but still the question remains, if he is up north by himself, how does he survive this long? Or has he possibly been turned into a White Walker? George has said that we're going to get a perspective or POV from the lands of Always Winter, and fuck, man. Listen, god damn it, man. George, I'm really tired of fucking speculating. I really am. Like, it's really, like, damn it, man. Grr. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how to answer that question without being pissed off. I really don't know how to answer the question without getting pissed off right now. Because it just really seems like we're being fucking trolled by George. Alright, when Debo breaks down the door, asks, will Stannis succeed in his need to put the oh my god, you with the damn rhymes again. Alright. Will Stannis succeed in his need to put the Baratheon seed on the seat of the Iron Throne to continue the Baratheon creed? No. Stannis is dead, man. Stannis is a damn dead man, alright? Stannis is a dead man, no matter the plan, no matter what part of the land he puts his hand, he is going in the sand. Alright? Alright, let's see here. Okay, so, AU Pack Mule says, explain the importance of the Ironwood door in the crypt. Man, the importance of the Ironwood door in the crypt is there is no importance. Look, we have the Game of Thrones Telltale game that is, tries to flesh out the Ironwoods, and it's like, hey, look, we got the Ironwood that doesn't burn, you gotta learn how to cultivate the trees and all that. Man, Red Herring City. Red Herring City. Okay? Ironwood don't mean shit. Alright? The only wood that means anything is weirwood and whatever wood that the Summer Islanders make their bows out of. Everything else means absolutely nothing. Especially ironwood. It don't mean a damn thing. Alright, for Ricky Hunt. Do you think the Green Men could be related to the children? They have some warging abilities, considering if someone gets too close to the Isle of Faces, flock of ravens drives them off. They could be, they could be, but I mean, because we hear about the children of the forest intermingling with men. The green men on the Isle of Faces are said to be kind of short of stature. I mean, it would make sense, if they were somehow related to the children of the forest. It would definitely make sense. But then the question is, what are they hiding there if a flock of ravens drives off people every time they try to approach the island? And then you got to ask the question, why did Howland Reed not get driven off? Because remember, Um, you know, Howland Reed did go to the Isle of Faces, uh, like on his way to Harrenhal. All right, so from when Debo breaks down the door, asks, how many houses are still loyal to Dorne? We'll see. With their obvious scorn for Doran Martell and his inability to mourn, referring to the death of Oberyn. Oh my god, man! Yeah, you know what? I'm really have to write that season wrap up rap. Oh man, I was thinking about that last night on the way home too. Um, you know what's funny? So like, all right, so the Dornish houses, um, it's gonna be hard to tell, because you have the Ironwoods, who who never really liked them anyway. We have absolutely no idea where the Danes stand. You got the Manwoodies. You got the shit. I don't even remember. There's a lot of houses, but it's hard to say because with nobody else, like we don't know of anybody else really being in on Doran's plan. So it's going to be hard to say who's loyal to him, because if they really loved Oberyn the way like Arianne Martell and the Sand Snakes say, then Doran's got a huge problem on his hands. Um, but we just don't know. We just do not know. All right. Listen, last two questions from Wendy will race down the door. I should have been out of here like 10 minutes ago, damn it. All right. Last two questions and I'm done. All right, so yo, what the hell? Yo, man, these aren't even questions. These are just rebuttals to what I was talking about Stannis. Look, man, Stannis, when I do the Stannis video, because I'll be honest with you, man, like that's the only opinion piece that I'm really afraid of. I'm afraid that some people might try to hunt me down uh over a Stannis video if I don't say the stuff that they like. So, oh man, yeah. So that's the like I said, that's the only video where I'm sitting there like, I don't know. I gotta be real careful with what I say about Stannis. Nobody cares if I talk shit about any other character, but it's like you say the wrong thing about Stannis, you got people ready to put the beats on you, man. And I'm just like, oh hey, okay, hey, listen. Don't know it's that serious. It's just a character. Man. Okay, all right. So this is the last question, absolute last one, from when Debo breaks down the door. What will happen in the books to Olenna Tyrell when she obviously killed off Joffrey with a poison-like spell? Will she spend her days in a cell? And I think I read that all kinds of wrong because yeah, man, I'm starting to get worn down right now. No, Olenna Tyrell is going to die. She is not going to spend her time in any cell whatsoever. She's gonna, yeah, she's gonna wind up dying a real kind of fucked up death. Yo, she's probably gonna wind up. They're probably gonna wind up having like. We have yet to see someone like die of like fucking natural causes or like a fucking heart attack or something. So you know what? Elena Tyrell's probably gonna die of like a heart attack. That's probably what's gonna happen to her. She's probably gonna die of like a heart attack or something like that. That's what I'm predicting for her. All right. Look, with that said, No more questions. I'm out of here. I really gotta call it a wrap. Like I said, I do have work that I need to finish it, and it's imperative to me keeping my job. Okay, you know. So listen, I want to give a shout out to everyone who came through to watch me tonight. Shout out to those. Damn, I can't even talk straight. Shout out to all those who will watch me later on in the future. You know, all 5 of you who are going to watch this video later. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't just automatically demonetize the damn thing, like they did last time. Like I hadn't even done the video. All I did was put up the title, and it was just like, nope, no money for you. Anyway, yeah, I will be back next week, and next week will be one that I got from someone on Instagram. Somebody hit me up on Instagram and asked me to do a character. So next week I will be doing. Oh, shout out to Icy Spots. I forgot to shout you out earlier. My bad. But yeah, next week will be the hell's his name? Robin Aaron. Sweet Robin. Yes, that was a request from Instagram. And then the following week from When Debo Breaks Down the Door, that one was Braun. So next week, Sweet Robin. Week after that will be Braun. Those are going to be two spectacular ones. And I really have a lot of thoughts on Braun, so that one, I'll make that an extra long one, all right? That'll be the normal two. Damn it, I'm almost at 2 hours now. See, every time I try to get out, they keep pulling me right back in. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Oh my god. Yo, man, listen, like I said, I'll see you guys next week. Looking for the rest of you. Oh, and look, for any of you guys, sorry, before I forget, because I keep on forgetting to say this every damn week. For those of you who will be attending Ice and Fire Con next year, this coming April, for those of you who will be attending Ice and Fire Con, if you use the code HYPES at checkout, you will receive $5 off on your ticket for the con. So make sure to go and do that. And I forgot what the other one was for the Mad Queens, you know. But whenever you see Alicia Kingston, you know, you can find out from her what hers is. Anyways, yeah. And sooner or later, we'll be announcing the next reread from the damn Hypes Watch shit, man. I'm all screwed up. I'm trying not to curse so they don't demonetize this damn video. Anyway, look, you guys already know the deal. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and come back for more. That has been my time, and this is Don Willie with Cerebro saying Valador Iris, and I will see you guys next week.